What's up, everybody? Welcome to After the Final Whistle, football talk with John and Montel.
This is episode number 21. It's been a couple weeks, y'all. I'm Montel. Our co-host is John. How you been the last couple weeks, buddy? Haven't done a podcast in a while. It's like we're strangers again.
Right. Who is this again?
Yeah.
No,
Who is?
right. I've been good. Just trying to catch up on a few things last week while I was off work. But how about you? How have things been going for you the past couple weeks?
It's been pretty decent, man. I got Junior's birthday party this weekend. Pretty much prepping for that is honestly what I've been doing the last couple weeks. Hopefully can work out some of those connection issues we were having. I'm switching providers, so that's really all I've been doing. Is getting ready for that crap. So,
Right.
Our agenda's not very long today, man. So, I guess we'll kick it off with what are your thoughts on the Super Bowl?
Hard fought game. I honestly thought that the Bengals for about over half the game was going to run away with it, but didn't happen. And that 3-point spread that I predicted turned out to be right. Score not so much, but 20-23.
Hey, Vegas would still be calling on that spread. The first half, it's like the game didn't go anywhere, and I still kind of felt the same way. I was like, man, if the Bengals can't ever capitalize, that they won't. There's just no way. I think at one point they had like 6 or 7 punts in a row from like the second half to the end of the game. So Rams won. I mean, we're both happy for Stafford. Let me ask you this: if he retired today, do you think he'd be a Hall of Fame quarterback with that Super Bowl now?
Would have to be talked about to go into it.
If Eli gets in with luck, I think Stafford deserves to get in.
I agree. I mean, I would say yeah, get in, but what about you?
I would have put him in before the Super Bowl, personally. I think he's been around since 2009, so I think he's like 32 or 33, and he will probably like shatter every passing record there is out there. So I would have put him in without it. So I guess we can go over our prediction. You said you had a 3-point spread. You said the Rams would win 33-30. I said Rams would win 31-17. Actual score, like you said, is a 3-point spread, 23-20. So that puts our overall predictions at 37-17 for you and 27-25. So I'm gonna give you a drum roll because you won the inaugural prediction championship. So congrats to you, my friend.
Hey, thank you. To the streak and keep beating you.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully not beating me, but maybe I'll just give you more Raiders games this year. So, we'll see how it goes. But on serious note, good job, dude.
Thank you. If you do, I'll just go with my gut, not choose.
I mean, it was like 60% of the time. It's not like all the time, but I like Derek Carr too. So
Derek Carr is a beast.
Yeah.
Hey, Adams.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't really frown, being a Vikings fan. So, Devontae, if you're listening, go ahead and take that big check out west.
Right.
And the overall episode title is probably going to be something along the lines of like mock drafts or something. So I guess we'll move on to what actually brought us here today because we're going to talk a little bit about Mel Kiper's first mock draft. It was released mid-January. So you want to kick us off with who Jacksonville's picking? I don't think he does trades in his mock, so this will be just a straight draft of whoever. Where they're picking is where he typically does. He doesn't worry about trades or anything like that. So,
All right. So Jacksonville with the first overall pick is taking Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end out of Michigan.
I've heard a lot about this is like a very cliche term. He's got a motor that doesn't stop. I've heard some people compare him kind of like Clowney a little bit, just not as physical. So, yeah, I think it's a solid pick.
I see it being a solid pick, but I also like most recent, like I think first overall defensive lineman Chase Young, and I think he's on the trade block.
Yeah, he's on the trade block mostly because Washington can't find a quarterback, and it's pretty much mortgage our future to win now. So I think Ron Rivera is probably like coaching for his job. I mean, they're always coaching for their job, you know what I mean? But he's probably on the hot seat because every Washington coach after 3 seasons is going to be on the hot seat. So,
yeah, but I'm just over here thinking like you took Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, so you have a quarterback and a running back. Would you rather build up that offensive line in front? I don't know.
I've seen a couple different mocks with with them taking the tackle first overall. I think when we do another one, maybe in like 2 weeks, we'll probably see the order change a little bit. Because, like I said, this is from like mid-January before like the Senior Bowl and honestly before the Combine. So they'll have another shakeup after the Combine too. So I think in actuality, they will probably take an offensive lineman, but I wouldn't be mad with Aiden Hutchinson if I was them either.
It seems like the offensive linemen to pan out over the long run better, especially if you feel like Trevor Lawrence is still the future of your franchise.
I tongue tie. I can see that. I don't know. It's Jacksonville. We say they're a dumpster fire all the time. So no matter what they pick, they'll probably find a way to ruin whoever they pick. So
it's possible, more than likely. Shall we move on to second overall? You want to take this one?
Yeah, Detroit Lions select Kayvon Thibodeau or Thibodeau. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Defensive end out of Oregon. He has been a monster over in the Pac-12 for a few seasons. I think he sat out last year. He played hurt this year, but still managed to be one of the best defensive ends in the league, despite attracting like a lot of double and triple teams. So us being NFC North fans, we might not want him in the division. Just saying.
You got to ask yourself, will Thibodeau here be biting kneecaps?
If Dan Campbell's his coach, absolutely.
So, I mean, I feel like it's a good pick, but they also need some offensive weapons. So hopefully, if they do go this route, they get like themselves a running back, or not a running back, wide receiver or two.
Yeah, I must say, Detroit is like running back hell. I wouldn't want to be a running back going to Detroit.
Right.
Who do the Texans have it? Who does Mel Kiper have the Texans picking at 3?
Evan Neal, offensive tackle. Honestly, at this point, take best player available if you're the Texans.
Yeah, I sent you that picture where where it's like if they tell you the needs, it's just like everything. They need everything. So
Yeah.
best player available, like you said. He's got a a good mentor, I guess, and Laramie Tunzel playing on the left side. He'll probably play right tackle. It might kick him in the guard, but you know what you're getting with an Alabama player. They're going to be physical and they're going to be coached good. So
Yeah.
I
And
don't think you can go
especially
wrong with it.
right. And if they feel like Davis Mills is at least their quarterback for this season, then you definitely are going to want to protect him. So having 2 first-round tackles is going to be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. But bookends are ever important. I mean, back in the day, it used to be just like the left tackle that mattered. Now you got guys that can rush from both sides. So you got to have 2 guys that can hold their water there.
Yes. Yes.
See,
Moving on here to the Jets.
they've got Kyle Hamilton, safety out of Notre Dame. I didn't watch a lot on him, but if you're a safety getting drafted this high, it's usually you're pretty much a freak of nature. Dude's like 6'4" and weighs like 220. So,
Yeah.
I guess he kind of plays a lot like who's the guy from the first round pick from Dallas last year that won the Defensive Player of the Year.
Micah Parsons.
Yeah, he's built kind of like Parsons. I think he probably has a little bit more speed, less size, but dude's apparently a freak.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, with the 5th pick, the Giants select. I'm gonna let you take that name.
Appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and apologize for the slaughter of the name up front. Ikem Ekwonu,
I think that's right. Yeah.
offensive tackle, North Carolina State. I mean, I guess if you feel like Daniel Jones is your quarterback, protect him.
Yeah. He's big. Like, let me see if I can get like his stats. Let's see. I saw a picture of him, and the dude is an absolute mountain. 6'4", 320 is what they have him listed at. They have an E next to him, but that's just like the estimated, not the official. So he's probably going to weigh a little bit more. He's a bad man. He's a bully on the football field. So they already got a solid left tackle. I think his last name's Thomas. I can't think of his full name. I'm not a Giants fan, but
And Andrew Tom. It's a solid pick. I mean, I know they got hit hard all year long in their wide receiver core with injuries. That we got to chalk up to being just an overall fluke.
yeah, same thing with Saquon not playing. I know they like to run a lot of wide zones, so you got options left and right now with Ikem Ekwonu.
Yeah. What about at number 6?
Charles Cross, offensive tackle out of Mississippi State. Haven't seen a lot of him. I know he's one of the SEC guys, so they're usually all around 6'4", 6'5", somewhere around the 310 to 330 range. So he's probably a big dude. Probably has some finesse to him, but also some nasty. So I think he'll definitely probably play left tackle for Carolina. They're already kind of like set at right tackle. I know Taylor Moton played both, but he's probably better at right than he is left. So a solid pick for them.
You must be happy with these 5 of the first 6 picks. They're all big guys on the line.
Yeah. So I'm a trenches guy, man. Like I don't like pretty. I don't like finesse. I like the trenches, and That just kind of probably has a lot to do with this class being a really bad receiver and quarterback class. Because we don't get a first round quarterback until like almost halfway through the first round in this particular mock. So they don't think very highly of some of the skill players in this draft.
Yeah, well, we knew the quarterback draft class this year, so. So with the seventh pick with that trade with Chicago last year, the Giants pick, once again, apologize for the butchering of the name, David Ojabu, outside linebacker, Michigan.
So I think he will, if he gets drafted this high, it probably has a lot to do with the first overall pick in this mock being right across from him. Not a bad thing. But when your counterpart is, drawing double and triple teams, it makes you look a lot better. Your life's a lot easier. So, not saying he doesn't deserve it, but Michigan's got some good recruiting up there with these outside linebackers and defensive ends that they get. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I don't even know what the Giants run. I think they run a 3-4. So I'm assuming if they're drafting a pass rush and outside linebacker, that they're going to run them in a 3-4.
Yeah. I thought it was 4-3, but I don't keep that close with.
I think they did for a long time. They did run a 4-3 for a long time, and then they switched coordinator.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I don't keep up with the Giants that closely, so.
I'm not going to say it. I'm going to just talk about the fact.
With the 8th overall pick, the Atlanta Falcons take
Derek Stingley Jr., cornerback LSU. So at one point, he was probably the best player in the country when he was a freshman a couple of years ago. He apparently has a reputation for not wanting to tackle. And in the NFL, you can't just cover, you got to be able to tackle. So he probably has like top 3 talent, but I think he's banged up and he doesn't want to tackle. It's probably like his biggest knock. So I know the Falcons are bad on defense.
Does he deserve to be taken off the board if he's not going to tackle?
I think talent-wise, yes. And if you get the right DB's coach and defensive coordinator, you can work with it, man. Corners they're just wide receivers that can't catch is honestly what it is. So they're all wide receiver DBs. They're all head cases. It's probably just a mental thing with him why he doesn't want to tackle. But I couldn't tell you, dude. I played offensive guard, tackle, and center. I never played corner. So,
right.
I had no problem hitting people.
I hear you. So moving on here, the 9th overall pick goes Nakobe Dean, inside linebacker. You lose Von Miller. Kind of got to replace that production.
Yeah.
See, I think a very solid pick.
Yeah, he's there's a clip of him in the Alabama game where one of his teammates missed a tackle, and he pretty much probably says some stuff I can't say on this podcast, but he's a very intense leader, and that's what you kind of look for out of an inside linebacker. Probably a little bit undersized for the NFL playing linebacker. He's 6 foot tall, weighs about 225 pounds. So that's pretty small for an inside linebacker. He probably projects better as a will. That's a weak side linebacker. Or if he is going to play in a 3-4, probably the Sam, not the Mike. So.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, you got to take playmakers where you can. I mean, people were saying that about being too. He's had a solid.
He has. Van Noy had a little bit more weight though. Too. This dude is. There's literally corners bigger than this guy, and he's playing linebacker. So, not saying it won't work, but it definitely doesn't work in your favor being undersized at that position.
Yeah. What about the 10th overall pick, the Jets, with the Seattle trade?
They take Drake London, a wide receiver out of USC. I honestly don't watch a lot of the Pac-12, but if they think Zach Wilson's the guy, get him some targets. The breakdown here says he's 6'5", so that's a big freaking target. I mean, he's probably got the catching radius of like a basketball key, you know. So,
I mean, it does say that he played both football and basketball for USC.
Hilarious. I didn't see. But yeah, I mean, he's tight end size, wide receiver skills. Now, don't eat me alive for saying this, but kind of reminds me of like a Megatron Antonio Gates like hybrid. So I think he can make it work, or at least the Jets can. They got 2 first-round picks. You can't screw both of them up, right? Then again, it's the Jets.
Right. I mean, yeah, he has the size. Will he have the talent that those two had coming out? We'll see.
No, not right off the bat. He'll probably be raw like a lot of the UFC receivers tend to be. They all usually need like a year or two of seasoning before they're actually good. So I'd say watch out for him in year 3. Might be somebody to pick up in fantasy. Let's see, number 11. They're no longer the Washington football team. They're the Washington Commanders. Who are they picking?
They are taking Malik Willis, quarterback from Liberty.
First quarterback off the board, and we're almost a third. Well, we're more than a third of the way through the draft. Yeah. If I can do math. Yeah, I can do math. He's going to run probably like 4.3, 4.4 at the combine. I think he's like 6'1 or 6'2. That's a risky pick, especially with him coming out of a small school like Liberty.
Not only that, but he was sacked 51 times in 2021.
Yeah, he probably from scrambling. You know, I know he lit it up during the Senior Bowl. He looked pretty good then. He's 6'1", 215 is what the Draft Network has him at. I think a lot of the problem is he's got that big fish in a small pond like play. You know, when you're the best player on the field, you should be strides above everyone on the field. There shouldn't be really a question. So, is he getting drafted 11th overall because he's the best quarterback, or was he just the one that looked the best against worse competition than the rest of them? So, that's my concern.
Yeah. All right, so you get to take your Minnesota Vikings here at 12.
All right. Ahmad Sauce Gardner, cornerback, Cincinnati. The man, I watched him a little bit in the championship game against Alabama. Both the SEC one, not the SEC, but the semi finals. They play Georgia. Oh, they played Bama. They got beat up pretty bad.
Yeah.
He looked pretty solid, man. Wasn't scared of these SEC receivers, man. He was open to the challenge, and I'll be perfectly honest. A lot of what he played in that game is probably going to be better than what he sees on most Sundays, and he looked really good. So I don't have a problem with I'm gonna call him Sauce. I like Sauce better than mine with the Sauce Gardner here. The last time we took a corner, he was cut before the start of his second season. So Um, it's risky.
Only allowing 8 catches for 60 yards. I'd take that in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's I think he's like 6'1", like 205. He's big for a corner. Now Zimmer and Spielman are out, so hopefully with these younger, I guess you can say younger millennials don't like the harsh tone that some of the older coaches have. Hopefully with our new coaching staff, they can actually like coax him along instead of breaking him. So I'd be excited for him. I'd be okay with Willis too here, but he can't start year one for me as the quarterback. So
yeah.
And who do we have at 13 for the Cleveland Browns?
We have Mr. Garrett Wilson, wide receiver from Ohio State.
His teammate Chris Olave is the one I'd probably take at 13 if I were the Browns.
Yeah, well, I mean, this pick just screams safe pick because they let Super Bowl champion OBJ now.
Yeah, he ain't damaged.
And then saw Jarvis tweet something about how he told them that he'd like to stay the ball's in their court. So it doesn't sound like Jarvis Landry is going to be around.
No, they're probably a season away from a rebuild, but I don't think they want to accept that. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
Baker's okay, but he doesn't have any weapons. They won't keep it if they don't keep him around. Jarvis, they won't have anybody, so they won't have a choice but to draft a receiver at that point.
Yeah. Like it makes sense, and it just screams safe pick, not best player available.
Yeah, there's probably some better players at I guess you can say less skill positions available, kind of like what you're saying that they could probably take. But like I say, it's safe. I don't hate it, don't love it. It's just a very cliche
The
pick.
Browns.
Yeah, it's the Browns.
Who are the Ravens taking with the 14th pick?
Tyler Lindenbaum, center out of Iowa. I've seen him throw some people around, and he's a pretty mean dude too. I kind of mentioned earlier, like with Alabama, how you get players that are going to be well coached. Same thing with some of these Hawkeye players. They're going to be well coached. They're not going to be head cases, and above all, they're going to be technically sound and physical. So this really just screams like Baltimore Ravens. A guy playing from he's playing above the the wheat belt. It's a fat boy, man. It screams Ravens. They love to run the football, regardless if they're doing it with the quarterback or the running back. So I think it's a good pick for them.
Right. All right, we're getting into the run of Eagles picks here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm about to go over the first of the 3 picks that they have in the next 5 overall picks. So the Eagles, with their trade with Miami, Devin Lloyd inside, they just need help on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, they need a lot on defense. Their defense is aging. Utah's another one of those programs where they're just well coached. They're disciplined. I don't know if he played in that Rose Bowl. I wasn't paying that close attention, but I don't see this as a bad thing if he's going to play inside linebacker, especially the Eagles run like a hybrid 4-3, like 3-4. So I think it'd be a good pick.
Yeah.
Oh, so I get this one.
Yeah, you get this one. Your turn.
Number 16, the Philadelphia Eagles, with a trade from Indianapolis, select Arnold Ibakiti, defensive end out of Penn State. So kind of like I was saying, their defense is aging out. Fletcher Cox is getting old. Brandon Graham is getting old. I don't even know if Vinny Curry's there anymore. And I don't think they're going to re-sign Derek Barnett. I think he's pretty much a wash. So they're going to need some edge presence, and this is a pretty good pick, I think. Penn State, what's his name? Jonathan Franklin. He's a pretty good coach and knows what he's doing. So I think they'll be fine.
I mean, just thinking about it, the Eagles finished 30 back, 29, and 11 of those coming from Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox.
Both of which are their defensive tackles. That's actually pretty pathetic.
So definitely need help on the defensive line there.
What's up, everybody? This is Montel. This is a post edit. So we originally planned for this episode to be about 30 minutes long. It ended up being well over an hour. So we're going to go ahead and split it up into two. We'll be right back with a quick message from one of our sponsors. I get asked quite a bit how Jon and I went about spinning up a podcast so quick. We used an application or a platform called Anchor. It has the tools that allow you to upload and record your podcast right from your phone or your computer. I've done both, and they're really quick and simple to use. When hosting a podcast on Anchor, you can distribute it quickly on various platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, and Pocket Cast. It has everything you need all in one place, and best of all, it's completely free. Download the Anchor app from your Play Store or your Apple Store, or go to anchor.fm to get started today.